Hello everyone, my name is Nikita, and in today's video topic we are going to discuss about the air pollution. So first of all, what is air pollution? Air pollution refers to the release of pollutant into air pollutant that are determined to that are detrimental to human health and the planet as whole. According to the World Health Organization, each year indoor and outdoor air pollution is responsible for nearly 7 million deaths around the globe. 99% of human beings currently breathe air that exceeds the WHO's guidelines limits for pollutants, with those living in low and middle income countries suffering the most. In the United States, Clean Air Act established in 1970 authorized the United States. Though they are not regulated, they can be considered a form of air pollution. When homes, schools, or the businesses get water damage, mold can grow and produce allergenic airborne pollutants, says Kim Knowlton, professor of environmental health science at Columbia University and a former of NRDC scientist. Mold exposure can precipitate asthma attacks or an allergic response, and some molds can even produce toxins that would be dangerous for anyone to inhale. Then pollen allergens are worsening because of climate change. Lab and field studies are showing the pollen producing plants, especially ragu, grow larger and produce more pollen. Then, discriminatory reading practices known as riddling have combined to keep polluting industries and the car chalk highways away from the white neighborhoods and have turned communities to color, especially low income and working class communities of the color, into the sacrifice zones where our residents are forced to breathe dirty air and suffer the many health problems associated with it. In addition to increased health risks that come from living in such places, that the polluted air can economically harm residents in the form of missed workday and higher medical cost. Environmental racism isn't limited to the cities and industrial areas. Outdoor laborers, including the estimated 3 million migrant and seasonal farm workers in the United States, are among the most vulnerable to the air pollution. Controlling air pollution. In the United States, the Clean Air Act has been a crucial tool for reducing the air pollution since it passes in 1970. Although fossil fuels interests, aided by the industry-friendly lawmakers, have frequently attempted to weaken its many protections, ensuring that the bedrock environmental law remains intact and properly enforced will always be key to maintaining and improving the air quality. But the best and most effective way to control the air pollution to speed up our transition to cleaner fuels and industrial processes by switching over to renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power, maximizing fuel efficiency in our vehicles, and replacing more and more of our gasoline powders cars and trucks with the electric versions will be limiting air pollution at its source, while also curbing the global warming that uh, hides on so many of its worst health impact. And what about the economic cost of controlling air pollution? According to a report on the Clean Air Act commissioned by NRDC, the annual benefits of the cleaner air up to 32 times greater than the cost of clean air regulation. Those benefits include up to the 3,70,000 avoided premature death and 1,89,000 fewer hospital people. Air pollution and environmental justice. No one wants to live next door to an incinerator, oil refinery, port, toxic waste dumps, or other polluting site. Yet millions of people around the world do, and this puts them at a much higher risk for respiratory diseases, cardiovascular diseases, neurological damage, cancer, and death. In the United States, people of color are 1.5 times more likely than whites to live in areas with a poor quality, according to the ALA. Historically, racist zoning policies and the discriminatory leading practices known as red lemming have combined to keep the polluting industries and the choking highways away from white peoples. Another category of the toxic compounds are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and byproduct of the traffic exhaust and wildfire smoke. In large amount, they have been linked to be eye and lung irritation, blood and liver issues, even cancer. In one study, the children of mothers exposed to PAH, that is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, during the pregnancy show slower brain processing speeds and the more pronounced symptom of ADHD. Then greenhouse gases. While these climate pollutants do not have the direct or the immediate impact on the human body associated with the all other pollutant like smog or hazardous chemicals, they are still harmful to our health. Another class of greenhouse gases are hydrofluorocarbons, are thousands of times more powerful than carbon dioxide in their ability to trap heat. In October 2016, more than 140 countries signed the Kigali Agreement to reduce the use of these chemicals, which are found in air conditioners and refrigerators, and develop a greener alternatives over time. Pollen and mold and pole allergens from the tree weeds and the grass are also carried in the air, are exacerbated by the climate change and can be hazardous to health. Though they are not regulated, they are harmful to our health. By trapping the earth's heat in the atmosphere, greenhouse gases leads to a warmer temperature, which in turn lead to the hallmarks of the climate change: rising sea levels, more extreme weather, heat related deaths, and the increased transmission of the infectious diseases. In 2021, carbon dioxide accounted for roughly 79% of country's total greenhouse gas emissions, and methane made up of more than 11%. Carbon dioxide comes from combusting fossil fuels, and methane comes from natural and industrial sources, including large amounts that are released during the oil gas drilling. While cases we emit far larger amount of carbon dioxide, but methane is significantly more potent, so it's also very destructive. Lab and field studies are showing that pollen producing plants, especially ragweed, grow larger and produce more pollen. When you increase the amount of carbon dioxide that grow in Knowlton says climate change also extends the pollen production season, and some studies are beginning to suggest that ragweed pollen itself might be becoming a more potent allergen. If so, more people will suffer runny noses, fevery, itchy eyes, and other symptoms. And for people with allergies and asthma, pollen peaks can precipitate asthma attacks, which are far more serious and can be life threatening. Those of children, senior citizens, and the people who work or exercise outdoors. It's even worse for people who have asthma or allergies. These extra pollutants can intensify their symptoms and trigger the asthma attacks. The tiniest airborne particles in soot are especially dangerous because they can penetrate the lungs and bloodstream and worsen bronchitis, leads to heart attack, and even hasten deaths. In 2020, a report from the Harvard's Chan School of the Public Health showed that COVID-19 mortality rates were higher in areas with a more particulate matter air pollution than in areas in even slightly less, showing a correlation between the virus's deadlines and the long-term exposure to the air pollution. Smoke and soot. These are the two most prevalent type of air pollution. Smoke, sometimes referred as a ground level ozone, occurs when emissions from the combusting fossil fuels react with the sunlight. Soot is a type of particulate matter, is made up of tiny particles of the chemicals, soil, smoke, dust, or the allergens that are carried in the air. The sources of smoke and soot are similar. Both come from cars and trucks, factories, power plants, incinerators, energies, generally anything that combusts fossil fuels such as coal, gasoline, or the natural gas. Walke says smoke can irritate the eyes and throat and also damages the lungs. Condition caused by the extreme weather and increased flooding and the pollen due to the longer pollen seasons. Climate change, fuel droughts, and dry conditions are also setting the stages for the dangerous wildfires. Adds limits, wildfire smoke can linger for days and pollute the air with the particulate matter hundreds of miles downwind. The effect of air pollution on the human body vary depending on the type of pollutant. the strength and the level of exposure, and the other factors including the person's individual health risk and the cumulative impact of the multiple pollutants or the stressors. We have made progress over the last 50 years in improving air quality in United States thanks to the Clean Air Act, but climate change will make it harder in the future to meet the pollution standards which are designed to protect the health. Effect of air pollution. Air pollution is now world's for the largest risk factor for the early death. According to 2020 State of Global Air Report, we summarize the latest scientific understanding of the air pollution around the world. 4.5 million deaths were linked to outdoor air pollution exposure in 2019, and another 2.2 million deaths were caused by the indoor air pollution. The world's most populous country, China and India, continue to bear the highest burdens of diseases. Despite improvements in reducing the global average mortality rate from the air pollution, this report also serves as a sobering reminder that the climate crisis threatens to worsen air pollution problems significantly. Senior citizen in NRDC's science office, smoke for instance intensified intensified by the increased heat forming when the weather is warmer and there's more ultraviolet radiation. In addition, climate change increases the production of the allergic air pollutant, including the mold, thanks to damp condition caused by extreme. This finding also illuminate an important environmental justice issue because highways and the polluting facilities have historically been cited or the next to low income neighborhoods and communities. The color the negative effect of this pollution have been disproportionately experienced by the people who lives in these communities. Hazardous air pollutant. A number of air pollutant pose severe health risk and sometimes be fatal even in small amount. Almost 200 of them are regulated by law. Some of the most common are mercury, lead, dioxins, and the benzene. These are also most often emitted during the gas or coal combustion. Exceeds the WHO guidelines limits for the pollutant, with those living in a low and the middle income countries suffering the most. In the United States, Clean Air Act established 1917 authorized the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to safeguard public health by regulating the emission of this harmful air pollutant. What causes the air pollution? Most air pollution comes from the energy use and the production. Director of the Clean Air Act Team NRDC. Driving a car on the gasoline, heating a home with oil, running a power plant on the frack gases. In each case, fossil fuel is burned and the harmful chemical and gases are released into the environment. Incineration, or in the case of benzene found in gasoline, benzene classified as a carcinogen by the EPA and can cause eye, skin and lung irritation in the short term and blood disorder in the long term. Dioxin, more typically found in food but also present in small amount in air, is another carcinogen that can affect the liver in the short term and harm the immune system, nervous system and endocrine system as well as reproductive function. Mercury attacks the central nervous system in large amount, and lead can damage children's brains and kidneys, and even minimal exposure can affect children's IQ and the ability to learn. Another category of toxic compounds exceeds the WHO guidelines. This finding also illuminate and important environmental justice issues. A number of air pollutants possess severe health risks and can be sometimes be fatal even in small amount. Despite improvement in reducing the global average mortality rates from the air pollution, this report also serves as a sobering reminder that the climate crisis threatens to the worsen air pollution problems significantly. We have made progress over the last 15 years in improving the air quality in the United States thanks to the Clean Air Act, but climate changes will make it harder in future to meet the pollution standards which are designed to protect health. The effects of air pollution on the human body vary depending on the type of pollutant, length, and the level of exposure, and the other factors including person's individual health risk. Thank you.